first question, we have ourselves a cube. Now, how do we know that it's a cube? Now, if it wasn't stated to you, typically if it's a cube, it will only have one measurement on it. Now, a cube is a three-dimensional solid figure that has six faces that are the same. Now, I know that you're not seeing six faces now, but take a look at this. So this is a better picture of how a cube looks when you're looking at it from all three dimensions. When you take a look at the cube like this, you can clearly see that we have ourselves six faces and all of the faces are squares, all right? Six faces, all the faces are squares, and they all have the same length. Now, we just found out that each of these faces are squares. How do we find the area of a square? That is length multiplied by width. So I have 2 feet multiplied by 2 feet because we would have already established that all of those lengths are the same. So it is length multiplied by width. So that is 4 feet squared. Now, what is that 4 feet squared for? That 4 feet squared is the area of one face. Now, how many faces does a cube have again? It has 6 faces, and we know that all the faces have the same size. Now, if it has 6 faces and all the faces have the same side, if I know the size of one, all I have to do is multiply that by 6 to find the total surface area. No, your surface area is just the area of all the surfaces of your object. So imagine you have a cube in your hand. Your surface area is the area of all 6 faces added together. So all I have to do is 4 feet squared multiplied by 6, and that gives me a total surface area of 24 feet squared. Now, the volume of a 3D shape is how much space it is occupying. Now, to find the area of a cube, because all of the sides are the same, all I have to do is multiply length times width times height. So that is 2 feet times 2 feet times 2 feet, and that is 8 feet cubed. When we're dealing with volume, we're dealing with cubic units. When we were doing area, we had squared units. Now, that was a pretty simple explanation, but if you want to get more technical, you can think about finding the volume of this 3D figure by thinking about it as the area of the cross-section multiplied by the height. So the area of the cross-section, 2 times 2, that would have been 4 feet squared times the height of 2 to give you 8 feet to the power of 3. So it would have given you the same thing. I like the formula with the area of the cross-section because when you get to some figures such as your triangular prisms, then knowing that formula will make it a lot easier for you. But this formula is perfectly fine. Length times width times height. Perfectly fine. So now we're going to go ahead and find the surface area of this cube again, but we have a decimal. Nothing to fear here, just done in the same way as the previous one. Now we know that the surface area of a cube is simply the area of all the faces added together. And we know that this cube has 6 faces. So let's find the area of one face. Let's find the area of one of the faces. It doesn't matter which one. So the area of one face is 1.5 feet multiplied by 1.5 feet, and that would give us 2.25 feet squared. So that is the area of one face. And since we have 6 faces, all I have to do is go ahead and do 2.25 feet squared multiplied by 6. And that gives me 13.5 feet squared. Now that is it for calculating the surface area of the cube. Now the volume of the cube, length multiplied by width multiplied by height. So all I have to do is go ahead and say, okay, my length, my width, and my height are all 1.5 feet each. So all I have to do is say the volume, and it's always good to label them. The volume is 1.5 feet multiplied by 1.5 feet multiplied by 1.5 feet. So that gives us a total of 3.375 feet cubed.